Good morning. It is Saturday. I'm about to leave for work in an hour. But 20 years ago today, 20 years ago? 20 years ago today, on a Saturday, I would be waking up. I think I would have been like 6 years old. Five or six. Five. I would have been waking up in my childhood home. My dad would be blasting Celine Dion music from his computer room. So I would wake up to that. My mom would be cooking probably the most delicious breakfast ever in the kitchen, and my brothers would either be watching TV or playing on the PlayStation, Xbox at that time, or on the computer, those bricky block computers, or they would be, I don't know, but my brothers would be doing something, just playing around. It's a Saturday morning, things are chill, and yeah, it was just, I was born in the year 2000, and I grew up like during that time where the internet was there, but not in the way that it is today. Like, the internet was there, but we didn't really depend on internet as much. It was still kind of new, and people were kind of like, what the heck is this? And it was like a fine line between like traditional and like modern way of living. Like we grew up watching TV, cable television, playing PlayStation, we could only watch things on TV when it played, because we only had like cable television. We could only message our friends like on web chat, like on the computer. Like, we didn't have phones. We would only listen to music on our CDs, but we still had internet in the background, but we kind of like we didn't have internet, but we had internet at the same time. And there was just something so magical about growing up in that time where we didn't really have the internet, and everything coming out new. There was so much new things coming out with technology, and it was just such an exciting time. Like, I don't know how to explain that feeling when I was a kid. It could be because, when you're a kid, everything is like a lot more fun, more nostalgic. But I swear, the early 2000s, there was something so different and magical about that time. Like, things just felt so much more exciting. I felt like I lived life a little bit more differently to how I am today. And a lot of it does come down to social media. I want to say social media. Social media has, in a way, although it is good, it kind of has like killed like the magic of life a little bit. Not a little bit, actually a lot. Social media has killed the magic of life. Like, we're not ever just like in the present moment. Like nowadays, we just get to go on our phones and we get to just turn on whenever we want to watch, whatever we want to listen to. But back then, it would be like, no, you would have to, we went to Blockbuster what was it called? Video Easy, every Tuesdays, cheap Tuesdays, to go rent a CD, to find a movie to watch. We would actually go out, own what we're going to watch. We owned the movies, we owned the music that we're going to listen to. We would download it on our iPods. And it just made things more valuable. Like, we didn't take it for granted. Like, everything that we had, we watched, we would have our full attention. We were like so present in the moment. And nowadays, it's just like everything's so accessible. Yeah, just go watch, download something, go sign up for streaming Netflix. It's like, yeah, it's nice, but man, I miss the days when, yeah, I don't know how to explain it. If you grew up in the early 2000s, if you were there, you would get it. And I miss those times truly, because I feel like that magic of life is just gone. Like, we're never going to get it back, and I'm just going to have to accept the facts, because with the way technology is evolving, the way that AI is coming for us, we'll never get that life back, and it is sad to think about. And I actually went on, I had a serious plan of deleting social media. But of course it wasn't possible. You can't live without social media nowadays unless you moved off the grid and you were just like living out of the matrix. But I can't do that, so I'm just stuck on social media. But I don't hate social media. I just hate the way that it's been kind of just abused. In a way, it's just been, yeah, overused, and everything's just overconsumed. And social media is just like a problem. It's an addiction for the younger generation. Like, we have like tablet kids, and that's not their fault. Like, they grew up with technology, but it's just like, man, I miss the early 2000s so much. I miss just, as a kid, the first computer or like the first technology that I would have is, I just remember like the big block computer, and it would take so long to turn on, so long to load any apps. We just had to wait for so long. And playing, oh my god, playing early 2000s games, like the 2D, like, it was so fun. And we used to have a lot of like learning games that were like 2000s. It was kind of like Mario Kart. Like, you would just drive around in a car and you'll solve all these math equations. Like, it was so fun. And one of my other things is, growing up, I grew up with 4 older brothers, and I was like kind of the only girl. And my sister was born 4 years later. So I grew up with my 4 older brothers, and man, during that time was so fun because my older brothers would be on the best shit, like, best stuff, the coolest things ever. I'm not allowed to say that. Am I gonna get... Okay, I cannot be cursing. S word, okay. Okay, so my brothers would just be on the coolest things ever. They'll play the coolest video games, the best, like, just growing up with my 4 older brothers, like watching them navigate the early 2000s and all the games and everything that came out then, it was like such a cool feeling. I would just be like watching them play the PlayStation or Xbox. I don't know which one we had first, but maybe it was an Xbox. But yeah, I'd be watching them playing Xbox, and we would just be outside, just on the trampoline, and everything cool that came out, my brothers would be on it first, and they would just give everything to me. They would give me their iPods, Nintendos. It was such a cool time. And I always remember coming home from school, and my brother would be on MSN, and he would be messaging all his friends on MSN, and that was just like email. Like, that was their way of talking to each other after school. That was their Facebook basically. And my brother would have all his friends on his emails, like he would message them through emails, and I was like, that is the coolest thing ever. Like, I can't wait to grow up and have MSN and do the same thing that my brother's doing. But no, I never got that because technology evolved, and what did I get? I got Facebook, I got Instagram. Still cool though, but just like seeing like my brothers like have all these cool things, like MSN was a vibe because you would come home after school. If your friend was online, it would be like the happiest feeling ever. Like, you would just text them on MSN, and it had like such a cool design as well. And then what else is there? Bebo? I think there was Bebo as well. Am I saying it properly? There was Bebo, I think. Vivo or Bebo? Bebo? But it's like a kind of like an old Facebook / Tumblr website. What else is there? Oh, there's so many things. But like the main thing is like, yeah, I miss that magic of life. I just miss it so much. And yeah, if you were born in the 2000s and you grew up between like that, again, like that fine line of where we still held on to traditional ways, but new technology was also evolving and it was also coming in. It was just like, whoa, it was such a different time. Truly, it was such a different time. And I feel like I have nostalgia for like the old ways, like what was I'm nostalgia for like digital, like analog. But then I grew up with technology, so I'm also really good at technology and modern technology, but I'm still very nostalgic for the way it was back then. So that's just me. And yeah, that's just how I feel. And it's just like, it's always ingrained in me. And I'm always like, if social media didn't exist, yeah, it would be really hard actually. It would be very, very hard. But ultimately, I do think, social media is kind of, I don't know what I'm saying, but all I'm saying is that when we had less social media, life was so much more fun and you were so much more present in life, and we would go outside and play with mud and just live life, you know. And that's just kind of my rant today. That's just my rant today because yeah, I missed early 2000s. And I think a lot of people do as well. I think a lot of people do miss the early 2000s, at least from what I've seen on social media. Like we see like the rise of like Y2K and how people are just kind of sick of kind of AI also taking over the world. But that's kind of a discussion for a different day. But yeah, I miss the early 2000s. And I would be low-key happy if social media wasn't as popular. Like, of course we need it, but if it was not as popular, great. That would be great as well. But yeah, I'm sadly going back to work. Sadly going to work. I love working. No, I don't love working, but I'm really grateful for my work. But yeah, it's a Saturday. And I hope you guys have a good Saturday too, or a good weekend. And I'm gonna try and live my life as nostalgically as possible. Maybe I should get off social media more. Maybe. Don't get me started about movies and music back then. That was way better than today. Okay, that's a whole different discussion for a different day. But okay, goodbye y'all, and yeah, have a good day. Thank you for watching.